Hello, unboxing video today. I have the Mutant Genesis, the newest expansion for Marvel Champions the card game. I also have these two decks that I'm not gonna be opening on camera, but I will be playing with them against some villains from this box at some point. So yeah, I'm just gonna open it now. I'm actually making a big jump because if you look at my channel, I only have videos from the core set, the Green Goblin pack, and the Wrecking Crew, and I'm jumping from that to the newest expansion, which is pretty weird, but hey, thematically it's different, so I think I'm gonna be okay. I do have the Red Skull expansion as well that I haven't had the time to play yet, but yeah, I think I'm gonna have some fun with this first and then go back and play with other expansions. Right, so let's see what we have here. Just open it up. This looks like a very cool expansion, obviously focusing on the X-Men. I'm just very bad at opening boxes, as you can see. There we go. Right, so we have this rule book. So there are 273 cards, including 108 player cards, 16 villain cards, and 149 encounter cards. And we have the list of villains here. Sabretooth, Sentinel, Master Mold, Avalanche, and Magneto are the villains. And we'll have some heroes here as well. Oh, there's some like comics here. That's pretty cool. Alright, well, we're not gonna read through the rule book now, but as you can see, they've put some work into this rule book, so I like that. That's pretty cool. All right, and then in the box we have what? Let's start with these. So these are, it looks like these are ready to play hero decks. So we have Shadowcat and Colossus. So I'm gonna play with those first. And what else do we have here? Looks like villain cards here. And more encounter and villain cards. And more villain cards. So yeah, let's have a look at the cards. I'm not gonna go through every single card because that would feel like a waste of time. So yeah, I'm just gonna open these. I think I may need some scissors. So let's open this Colossus stack first. Let's see what's in there. Right, just making a cut here. Okay. Right, so Colossus, he's an X-Men with 1 thwart, 2 attack and 2 defense. He can have 1 additional tough status card, so that's pretty cool. And his ability is called Steel Skin. After you change to this form, give Colossus a tough status card. Well, that's pretty good. So whenever he changes to this form, he gets a tough status card. That's pretty powerful. And then his alter ego. Set up, search your deck for a copy of Organic Steel and add it to your hand. And then Aspiring Artist. After you change to this form, shuffle Colossus back. Shuffle a Colossus card from your discard pile back into your deck. Okay. So he looks like a pretty powerful hero. So whenever... After you change, so whenever he changes to this form, he gets a tough status card. That's pretty good. And then shuffle a Colossus card from your discard pile into your deck. Okay. And then he gets one extra card in his hand for recovery in this form. 14 hit points. Oh, hand size of 4 though. Okay, so that's his weakness. There we go, that's what I mean. And here hand size of 6. Okay, so hand size of 4, obviously not ideal. That's why his ability is so powerful. Okay. So let's go through these cards now. We have Shadowcat, an ally. 2 thwart, 2 attack, 3 health. She ignores the guard and patrol keywords and any crisis icons in play. Okay. 3 health, costs 3. She's kind of okay-ish, I would say. We've got his Piotr Studio. Exhaust Studio, discard cards from your deck until you discard a closest card, add that card to your hand. Okay. So he really wants to have one of his own cards in his hand by the looks of it. So I guess his cards are about giving him tough, because he'll get 1 tough from flipping, but he can have more than 1. So yeah. Iron Will, he gets +1 thwart. After a tough status card is discarded from Colossus, draw a card. Titanium Muscles, he gets +1 attack. Exhaust this card, generate a strength resource for each tough status card on Colossus. Okay. Organic Steel, okay, so that's the one that he pulls from his deck. Uses 2 steel counters. After a tough status card is discarded from Colossus, exhaust this card and remove 1 steel counter from it. Give Colossus a tough status card. Okay. Right. So he can get 2 extra tough status cards from this card before the counters are depleted. So and he gets 2 of those. Made of Rage. Hero Interrupt. When you make a basic attack, discard a tough status card from your hero. You get +6 attack for that attack. And it gains Overkill. Okay, pretty good. 2 of those. Steel Fist. Hero action, deal 5 damage to an enemy. You may discard a tough status card from your hero, stun and confuse that enemy. Okay, pretty good as well. Costs 2 though. And you need that tough status card to get the extra bonus. So he gets 3 of those. Bulletproof Protection. Hero action. Discard a tough status card from your hero. Choose. Give your hero two tough status cards or ready your hero. Cost 0. That's pretty good. And then Armor Up. Alter Ego. When the villain activates, change to hero form. Ooh. Right. So the villain attacks, you change, you get your tough status card, and the villain fails. Like his attack essentially fizzles. Obviously, he may have some bonuses when attacking and stuff like that. Or but yeah, or he can go through. The attack could go through toughness, but yeah, pretty good so far. Looking pretty good. And then he has a protection deck. To go with his 15 cards. So Nightcrawler, 2 thwart, 2 attack, 3 2 health, costs 3. Ally X-Men. When an X-Men character would take any amount of damage from an enemy attack, spend a energy resource. By the way, I could be mispronouncing that resources. I can't remember. There's so many of these games. I'm sorry, but I can't remember how they're called in each game. So I just call this strength. I call this energy. Return Nightcrawler to your hand. Prevent all of the damage. Alright, it's pretty good. Only good for X-Men characters though. Then he has Polaris. 1 thwart, 2 attack, 3 health, 3 cost. After Polaris enters play, give an X-Men character a tough status card. Okay, so she's really good with him, obviously. Protective Training. Attached to an X-Men ally. Max 1 training upgrade per ally. Attached ally gets plus 3 hit points. Alright. Decent. Well, actually, I don't think it's decent because it's only for X-Men again, but... well, it's okay. Powerful Punch. Hero Interrupt. When an enemy initiates an attack, deal 4 damage to the enemy. When an enemy initiates an attack, deal 4 damage to an enemy. Okay. Costs 2 though. So seems expensive. 4 damage for 2? I don't know. I guess if you use this against a minion, you damage the minion before it attacks, before the attack occurs, but yeah. Not that great. Bait and Switch. Hero action thwart. The villain attacks you. Remove 4 threat from the main scheme. Okay, so remove 4 threat, but the villain attacks you. Again, with his tough status card, it doesn't seem to be that much of a punishment. And this one, what does this do? After you change form, give your hero a tough status card. Okay. So, that's pretty good, especially with him. Because he can have 2 of those on him. And Mutant Protectors. Play only if your identity has the X-Men trait. Yeah, only if you identify as an X-Men. Hero Interrupt. Defense. When an enemy attacks, put an X-Men ally into play from your hand, exhaust it, and declare it as the defender of this attack. Alright, okay, so prevent an attack but lose 2 cards. Lose 3 cards because you've got the defender, this, and you have to pay the cost. So, not good value. Defensive Energy, max 2 per deck. Hero Interrupt. When you spend this card to play a defense event, draw one card. Okay, that's good. That's why there is only 2 of them per deck. Professor X. Professor Xavier. He's an X-Men with 3 thwart, 0 attack, 3 health, and 3 costs 3. Forced response. After he enters play, choose one. Confuse the villain, stun a minion, already an X-Men character. At the end of the round, if Professor X is still in play, discard him. Okay, so he's kind of like Nick Fury. So he enters play, he thwarts, he does one of his 3 possible things, which is confuse the villain, stun a minion, already an X-Men character. Then he defends and dies, or he's discarded, but most of the time he'll just die defending, right? The X-Jet. And also, what was the card that was pulling an X-Men from hand? There was one here, right? What was it? When an enemy attacks, put an X-Men ally into play from your hand. Exhaust it and declare it the defender of this attack. So we could use that on him, I guess, and then he can do one of his 3 things before he dies from the attack. The X-Jet vehicle, X-Men, very famous. Resource. Exhaust the X-Jet. Generate a wild resource for a player whose identity has the X-Men trait. Shadow and Steel. Attack, defense, team up, Colossus and Shadowcat. Max 1 per deck. Hero Interrupt. When an enemy attacks, prevent all damage from that attack and deal 4 damage to the attacking enemy. Okay. Energy. Okay, so it's just energy, but with a new artwork. Ooh, that's so cool. We've got Phoenix artwork on energy. I love that. That looks pretty cool. Genius and Strength, same treatment. Wow. I love those. but this one's my favorite. Pretty cool. Okay, and then we are now looking at Colossus's obligation. Give to the Piotr Rasputin player, you may flip to alter ego. Choose exhaust, remove homesick from the game. Yeah, discard the card, discard and each tough status card from your identity. If you discarded no tough status card this way, this card gains surge. Okay. And it's called homesick. Maybe not that homesick in current circumstances. Anyway, Juggernaut. Alright, he's got 1 scheme, 4 attacks, stalwart and toughness, 8 health, so that's his that's his nemesis. Boost, if this activation is an attack, that attack gains overkill and piercing. Okay, so he can go through all these tough status cards on Colossus. And he's a brute and elite. Nice. 4 attack. Very powerful. Rampaging Juggernaut. When revealed, discard each tough status card from each friendly character. Ooh, that's bad. Place 2 threat here for each tough status card discarded this way. Oh. That is bad. That is... You don't want to pull this guy when you're Colossus. And he's got Unstoppable. Attached to the enemy with the highest printed attack without a copy of Unstoppable attached. Otherwise, this card gains Surge. Forced Interrupt. When attached enemy attacks, the attack gains Overkill and Piercing at the end of this attack. Discard Unstoppable plus 2 attack. Okay, and then we've got Slammed. When revealed, you are stunned. If you are already stunned, take 2 damage. Boost, reveal this card. Oh, interesting. So that was Colossus. Pretty cool deck. So that's the first one we'll probably be using. Also, are there any new featured keywords? And the card, blah blah blah. Patrol, permanent, piercing. Like I said, I've made a big jump of like 5 expansions from the core set to this. So let me tell you, I don't know a lot of these keywords. Neural or amplify icon. The amplify icon increases the number of boost icons on boost cards. When a boost card is turned face up during an enemy activation, add 1 additional boost icon to that card for each amplify icon in play. So we saw that here. Okay. Interesting. And additional new rules, additional forms. Some heroes come with cards that grant them additional forms, such as Shadow Scout Face form. These forms are in addition to your identity, alter ego, and hero forms, and come with their own conditions for changing into them. When an identity changes an additional form, it does not count against the once per turn limit of flipping from hero to alter ego, but it does count as changing forms for the purpose of triggering card effects such as Ready to Rumble. Okay. Applying specific cards. Hinder steady. Teamwork trait. After a minion with teamwork enters play and engages a player, if there is at least one other minion that shares the specific trait in play, each minion that shares the teamwork keyword with the same specified trait activates against the player it's engaged with. Team up. The team up keyword names 2 characters to include a card with the team up keyword in your deck. Your chosen identity must match one of the named characters. Additionally, a card with team up cannot be played unless both of the named characters' identity or ally are in play. Okay, so that's not really a positive trait, is it? Alright. Let's keep that here. Right, next, Shadowcat. Shadowcat's deck. Quick cut. Right, Shadowcat, what can you do? 2 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense. X-Men, selective intangibility. I don't even know what it means, but anyway, it probably means that she is intangible, if there is a word like that. While you are in phased mass form, Shadowcat ignores the guard and patrol keywords and any crisis icons in play. Okay, so we've just read about those forms. 9 hit points, hand size of 5. And then her alter ego, 3 recovery, mutant setup. Put your mass form upgrade into play. Solid side face up. Face control action. Flip your mass form upgrade. Limit once per round. Okay, we need to look at these forms. Phased. Mass form permanent. Oh, what's her hand size here? 6. Okay. It's an upgrade. Permanent upgrade. While Shadowcat is defending, she cannot take damage. Ooh, forced response. After you attack or defend in phased form, flip this card. Solid. Mass form permanent. Hero resource. Exhaust this card. Generate a strength resource for an attack or defense event. Response. After you attack or defend in solid mass form, flip this card. Interesting. So she's got these 2 forms. So she defends. After you attack or defend, flip this card, and then she flips. And she flips again. Cool. Cool concept. I like that. Lockheed. 1 thwart, 1 attack, 2 cost 2 health, Dragon X-Men ally. After he enters play, if you are in solid mass form, deal 2 damage to an enemy. Phased mass form, remove 2 threat from a scheme. Okay. Kitty's room. Alter ego, exhaust Kitty's room. If you are in solid mass form, heal 2 damage. Phased mass form, draw 1 card. Acute control, upgrade. After you ignore the guard or patrol keyword on a minion, exhaust acute control, deal 2 damage to that minion. Oh, cool. If they have these keywords. If they don't, it's pretty useless. Hero response. After you ignore the crisis icon on a scheme, exhaust intangible interference. Remove 2 threats from that scheme. Okay. Again, if it has a crisis icon, it's good. Phased and confused. Hero form only. Attached to an enemy, max 1 per enemy. Costs 3. It's an upgrade. When attached enemy would attack, discard this card instead, then confuse that enemy. Oh, pretty good, pretty good. So 2 of those. Shadowcat surprise. Hero action attack, deal 3 damage to an enemy. Ready your hero. Okay. Pretty good. Two cost 2. So 3 damage and ready your hero. It's pretty good. Phase strike. Hero action. Attack. Deal 6 damage to an enemy. If you are in phased mass form, you may discard an attachment with the text hero action or hero response from that enemy. Deal 6 damage to an enemy. If you're in phased mass, you may discard an attachment. Okay. Costs 3. Airwalk. Hero action. Thwart. Remove 2 threats from a scheme. 4 threat if you are in phased mass form. Costs 1. Quick shift. Defense superpower. Hero interrupt. When an enemy attacks, if you are in solid mass form, change to phased mass form. Phased mass form, draw 2 cards. Okay, now we have, so she comes with an aggression deck. Wolverine, X-Men, 1 thwart, 3 attack. That attack deals 2 damage to him. Wolverine attack, attacks gains piercing as well. After your turn begins, heal 1 damage from Wolverine. Okay, so he can heal himself. That's why that makes sense with his character. Magic. 1 for 2 attack, 3 health, 3 cost. Mystique X-Men. After you play her from your hand, spend a mental resource. Choose a non-elite minion, engage with an X-Men hero. Shuffle that minion into the encounter deck. That's pretty good. Non-elite minion, engage with an X-Men. Shuffle that minion into the encounter deck. Huh, that's good. Only after you play her, though. From your hand. Only after you play her from your hand. Okay. Attack training. Attached to an X-Men ally, max 1 training upgrade per ally. Attached ally gets +1 attack and +2 hit points. Gatekeeper. Condition attached to a minion. Attached minion gets +2 hit points and gains patrol. Interrupt. When attached minion is defeated, remove 4 threats from main scheme. Okay, so she can actually use this to give patrol to a minion, but it also gives it +2 hit points. But then when she defeats that minion, she can remove 4 threats from main scheme. So there are some pluses. So there are some like advantages and disadvantages of using this. So who knows how it will work. But I'll be beating all these villains on expert with these decks, so we'll see how it works. Well, maybe I'll try with these decks, see how far I get. Team Strike. Play only if your identity has the X-Men trait. Hero action attack. Exhaust your hero and any number of X-Men allies. Deal X damage among enemies in play, where X is the total attack of characters you exhausted this way. Toe to toe. Hero action attack. Choose an enemy. That enemy attacks you. Deal 5 damage to that enemy. Okay. Toe to toe indeed. Aggressive energy. Max 2 per deck. Hero interrupt. When you spend this card to play an attack event, that event deals 1 additional damage. Okay. So +1 damage, and you can still use it to pay. Colossus. X-Men. Reduce the cost to play Colossus by 1 if your identity has the Mutant or X-Men trait. Costs 4. 1 sword, 3 attack, 3 health, 2 damage when attacking. Expansion. Alter Ego action. Exhaust expansion. Heal 1 damage from a Mutant or X-Men character. Any player whose Alter Ego has the Mutant trait may trigger this ability. Shadow and Steel. Team up Colossus and Shadowcat. Max 1 per deck. Hero interrupt. When an enemy attacks, prevent all damage from that attack and deal 4 damage to the attacking enemy. Okay. And it costs 2. Ready to Rumble. Play under any player's control, max 1 per player. Hero response. After you change form, discard, ready your hero. Okay. And then we have Energy, Genius, and Strength again. And now we have her obligation. Permanently phased. Give to the Kitty Pryde player. Flip your mass form upgrade to phased. You cannot attack, defend, or change mass form. Alter Ego. Exhaust Kitty Pryde. Remove permanently phased from the game. Okay. White Queen. 1 scheme, 1 attack, 5 health. Villainous. While the White Queen is engaged with you, you are confused. Boost, you are confused. The Hellfire Club. When defeated, the player who defeated this scheme searches the encounter deck, discard pile, and set aside area for a copy of the Hellfire Pawn minion. Puts it into play, engaged with them. Acceleration, 2 threat. Hellfire Pawn. 1 scheme to attack, 3 health, guard, patrol, search. Put Hellfire Pony into play and engage with you as a boost. Telepathic Restraint. Condition attached to your identity. While Telepathic Restraint is attached to your identity, you are stunned. Action, spend 2 mental resources, discard this card. Okay, it's pretty annoying. Pretty annoying. Alright, now we're gonna do the villain cards. Let's put these two here. And open this bit first. Come on. Okay. So, Sabretooth, 1 scheme to attack in his first form, Brotherhood of Mutants. Force response, after he activates against you, discard the top card of the encounter deck. Heal damage from him equal to the number of boost icons discarded this way. Okay, so he attacks and he heals. Not that strong. 13 hit points. His second form, 2 scheme to attack, toughness, and the same force response, 15 hit points. Okay. And then his third form, for expert, he gets retaliate 1. And he has 3 attack and 18 hit points. Right. Stalked by Sabretooth. Main scheme. Put the Find the Senator side scheme into play. Attach the Robert Kelly ally to it. While attached to the Find the Senator, Robert Kelly is in play, but under no player's control. Okay, well, no spoilers. And here we have Robert Kelly. He's a senator and he has 9 health. The first player controls Robert Kelly. He does not count against your ally limit and cannot have player cards attached. When an enemy resolves an undefended attack against you, deal damage to Robert Kelly. So, if we look at this, after resolving step 1 of the villain phase, deal 2 damage to Robert Kelly. 3 damage instead if there is at least 6 threat here. If Robert Kelly leaves play, the players lose the game. Okay, so in this encounter, the goal is to keep him alive. He has 9 health. We have to block. If an attack goes without blocking, he gets hit. So pretty cool. Pretty cool encounter. I don't want to read all these because I kind of want to experience it when I play. And then I'm not going to go through all these either because that will take ages. But we've got some attachments. Adamantium Claws gives him attack and piercing. Animal Ferocity. Another attachment. Sabretooth Strikes. Deal 1 damage to Robert Kelly. You may exhaust your hero to prevent this. Okay, so he will have ways to damage Senator Kelly, I'm assuming. And by doing that, he could win the game if he kills Senator Kelly. Medical Emergency Side Scheme. Hinder 2. When revealed, place 2 threat here. Victory 1. When defeated, heal 2 damage from Robert. Okay, so there's a way to heal Robert Kelly. So that's good. Feral Rage side scheme. When defeated, Sabretooth attacks the player who defeated the side scheme. Even if the player is in alter ego form, Crisis Icon. Oh, that's pretty good. So no mercy here. No mercy. I like that. And then we have Brotherhood. Scenario. Well, it's not a scenario. It's I forgot the name. How do they call it in this game? It's a modular sets. That's what they are called. Okay, so Brotherhood modular set. Avalanche. Force response. After Avalanche attacks you, exhaust the character you control. Boost exhaust the character you control. 5 health, 1 scheme, 3 attack. Blob. 1 scheme, 2 attack. Brotherhood of Mutants. Guard. After Blob attacks and damages a character, standard character. Pyro. Force response. After Pyro attacks, you discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Take 1 indirect damage for each printed resource icon discarded this way. 4 health, 2 attack, 2 scheme, 0 attack. Toad. Force response. After Toad attacks and damages a character you control, discard 1 random card from your hand. Discard 1 random card from your hand as a boost. 2 scheme, 2 attack, 3 health. Okay. Pretty cool. Homo Superior. Attach to a minion and give it a tough status card, otherwise this card gains Surge. Attached minion gets +5 hit points. Boost, attach this card to a minion and give it a tough status card. Okay, it's pretty strong. Mutant Terrorists. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for the Brotherhood side scheme and reveal it. Shuffle. If it did not enter play this way, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a Brotherhood of Mutants minion is discarded and reveal it. Okay. And here we go, the Brotherhood side scheme. Hinder 2. Each Brotherhood of Mutant minion gains Quick Strike. Ooh. And 1 extra encounter card. Pretty powerful. Pretty powerful set. And we have Mystique. So that's her set called Mystique. 5 cards. Toughness. Players cannot attack her. She's got 9 health. Mystique's scheme is equal to the villain's scheme and her attack is equal to the villain's attack. Makes sense. Metamorphic Mayhem. When defeated, the player who defeated this scheme shuffles each Shapeshifter card from the encounter discard pile into the deck. Okay. Infiltration. When revealed, shuffle this card into your deck. This card gains Surge. Force response. After this card enters your hand, discard an ally or support you control. Ooh. Pretty bad. So, not only you kind of lose a round, because you just drawn into this, if it's a natural draw, but also you're punished. So, pretty punishing card. Shapeshifter Surprise. When revealed, shuffle this card into your deck. This card gains Surge. After this card... okay, so it's actually... They have Surge. Wait, but does that mean Surge as in you draw 1 more card, or... No, I think you just shuffle it and then it's Surge. Okay, that's pretty bad. See, it's worse than I thought. After this card enters your hand, Mystique activates against you, otherwise search the encounter deck and discard pile for Mystique and reveal her. That's so bad. Okay, I'm gonna hate her modular set by the looks of it. Right, then we have another villain, Sentinel. Oh, I love this from the X-Men animated series. I just always liked how they look like for whatever reason. 2 scheme, 2 attack, toughness, When revealed, the first player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for a copy of the Abducted Protocols side scheme and reveals it. Okay. To scheme to attack, 16 hit points. Second form, to scheme 3 attack, steady toughness. The first player searches the encounter deck and discard pile. Okay, so it's the same thing. Deal each other player a face down counter card. Okay, so that's a bit harder. 18 hit points. And the final form, 3 scheme, 3 attack. Stalwart toughness. The first player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for a copy of the Abducted Protocols. Deal each player a face down counter card. Okay. Knight of the Sentinels. Set each captive ally aside, reveal the Operation Zero Tolerance and Mutants at the Mall side scheme. After this race space here, is okay. So the what they were designed to do, the Sentinels, was to hand down mutants, right? Mutants at the Mall. When defeated, the first player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for a Sentinel minion and reveals it. Flip this card and put Jubilee into play, discarding any other version of Jubilee from play. Oh, there she is. Oh, okay. This player searches the flip this card and put. Oh, okay. So then we got her. She's got 1/4, 1 attack, and she's an ally. X-Men victory -1. The first player controls Jubilee. She does not count against your ally limit. She's got 3 health. Action: exhaust Jubilee and spend an energy resource. Deal 2 damage to an enemy. Cool. And we have Richter. So these are the captive allies. Richter, Boom Boom, Cannonball, Wolfsbane. It's 4 of them. Okay. So, not gonna go through all of them, but it's 4 of those captive allies. Sentinel Mark 4. Guard Patrol. Put Sentinel Mark 4 into play, engage with you as a boost. 2 scheme to attack for health. Gauntlet Beam. Sentinel Tech attached to the villain. The villain attacks, gains piercing and ranged. Spend 3 strength resources, discard +1 attack. Boost, exhaust your identity. Learning AI, adaptive armor, self-repair, mutant detected. Again, I'm not going to go through all of these cards. But let's see what Abducted Protocols are. So this is a side scheme. Hinder 2, victory 2. When defeated, the player who defeated this scheme takes 1 random set-aside captive ally and puts it into play under the control crisis icon. Starts with 2 threat. And there's 4 of those. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So they pull these. Is that how it works? Yeah. So you get these protocols. And each captive ally is set aside. So lots of schemes to start with. Okay, cool. So we have to kind of free all these captive allies by clearing these side schemes, and that's how it works basically. Very cool. And we've got zero tolerance. That's the scenario. Got Sentinel Mark 2, Mark 3, energy barrier. Okay, so some minions. Pretty cool. So put them there, and then him Okay, we still have 2 piles. So let's open this one first. Okay, so this is more Sentinel stuff. Operation Zero Tolerance is another side scheme for the Sentinels. If there are X face down cards under this scheme, the players lose the game. X is 3 more than the number of players. Okay. And then Sentinel Mark 5, Mark 6. So that's the strongest one. Has Quick Strike 2 scheme to attack 6 health. Boost. If targeted for elimination is attached to an identity, deal this card to the player as a face down encounter card. Okay. Targeted for elimination. Relentless robots. Okay. So that's the Sentinels basically. And the next villain is Master Mold. Okay. He's a Sentinel with 1 scheme to attack, stalwart, toughness. When he schemes against you, discard cards from the encounter deck until a Sentinel minion is discarded. Put that minion into play and engage with you. Do not give Master Mold a boost card for this activation. Okay. Interesting. First form, second form. 2 scheme, 3 attack. Same keywords. Oh, first form has 12 hit points. This one has 14. Same forced interrupt. And his final form, 3 scheme, 4 attack, 16 hit points. And the same keywords, same forced interrupt. Right? Yeah. The Sentinel Factory. Put the Magneto ally into play under the first player control. Okay. Sentinel Factory. Each Sentinel minions gains guard. When revealed, each player discards card. Okay, so you search for Sentinels. That's what he does. He searches his deck for Sentinels. Again, no spoil. I don't want to reveal that because no spoilers. Okay, there's Sentinel Mark 8 here. 3 scheme, 3 attack, 8 health. After this minion engages you, attack the topmost Sentinel. Attach the topmost Sentinel attachment from the discard pile to this minion. Could be trouble. Unit upgrade. Attached to a Sentinel minion. Otherwise, this card gains Surge. Gets +2 hit points. Retaliate 1. +1 scheme, +1 attack. Okay. Stun Beam. Master Mold's Children. Shields up. Okay, so that was Master Mold, basically. Now we have Mansion Attack. Avalanche. Blob. Pyro. Toad. Alright, so this is taking me back to the Wrecking Crew. So we have 4 villains. Avalanche. And they have A and B sides. So A is normal, B is for expert. So Avalanche has, I'm just gonna read the A forms. He's got 2 scheme, 3 attack, toughness, victory 2. After he attacks you, exhaust an ally you control. Blob, 1 scheme, 2 attack, toughness. After he attacks and damages a character, standard character. Toughness, 2 scheme. I think it's the same as their minion cards. After Pyro attacks you, discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Take 1 indirect damage for each printed resource icon discarded this way. And Toad, Toughness Victory 2. After he attacks and damages a character you control, discard 1 random card from your hand. Okay. And then on B form, they probably just have more health and more health, more scheme, more attack. So 15 health, 16, 14, 13. Okay. And the Brotherhood Strikes is their main scheme, and yeah, you have to have all of them. Attack on Xavier's. Okay, 2A, and reveal. Flip this card. What's this do? Yeah, well, I'm not gonna read the rules now, but it looks like an encounter with 4 active villains. We've got this environment, save the school. After the villain is defeated, if there are X villains in the victory display, the players win the game. See X rulebook, page 15. Okay. And then we have Brotherhood Beatdown. When revealed, each of the following enemies in play. For each of the following enemies in play. So it looks like it's kind of like it's like the Wrecking Crew, but they have one deck, so they don't have separate decks. Yeah, that's cool, because I hated managing 4 decks when playing against the Wrecking Crew. So instead they have a card like this, for example, and it says, you know, what it does for each of them. Groundswell, Avalanche activates against you. Immovable Blob activates against you. Pyromaniac, Pyro activates against you. Hopping Mad, Toad activates against you and does something. Okay, I like that. Protect the students. So we've got some side schemes from them as well. Under Siege. Okay, cool. So it looks like less management, thank God, than the Wrecking Crew. And now we have Magneto. His artwork is so cool. I love it. 2 scheme, 2 attack, 18 health. Steady toughness. After he attacks you, place 1 magnet counter on the main scheme. Second form, 2 scheme, 3 attack, steady toughness. When revealed, deal each player a face down counter card. 20 hit points. Form 3, 22 hit points. Steady toughness. When revealed, deal each player a face down counter card after place a counter. 3 scheme, 3 attack. Okay, he looks amazing. Asteroid M, his main scheme. Set the orbital decay side scheme aside. Reveal the boarding party side scheme. Okay. Again, I don't want to do any spoilers here. So, boarding party. It looks like a fun encounter. Then we have M-type Sentinel minion. Guard. When defeated, give Magneto a tough status card. 2 scheme, 2 attack, 5 health. And boost. Give Magneto a tough status card and a face down boost card. Ooh. And then we have more of his cards here. That's our final pile. So that's the Sentinel again. Alright, he's got his helmet attached to Magneto. Magneto cannot be confused. Makes sense. After your hero makes a basic attack against Magneto, spend each of 1 resources, discard this card. It gives him +1 scheme. Only 1 of those in his deck. Magneto's armor. He cannot be stunned. Same thing, he gets +1 attack. Magnetic Bubble attached to Magneto, he gets Retaliate 1. When he would take any amount of damage, place it here instead. Then if there is 8 or more damage here, discard this card. Okay, ooh, it's pretty bad. Retaliate 1 and 8 health. 8 extra health to go through. Wrapped in Metal. Attached to your identity, max 1 per identity. Attached identity cannot thwart, attack, defend, or recover. Exhaust your identity and spend a strength resource, discard this card. Okay. Master of Magnetism. When revealed, take the topmost magnetic card in your encounter discard pile and give it to Magneto. As a face down boost card, Magneto activates against you. Okay. Pretty bad. Electric Shock. When revealed, alter ego, you are confused. Place 1 threat on the main scheme for each Magneto counter on it. You are stunned. Take 1 damage for each Magneto counter of the main scheme. Okay, you don't want these counters, do you? Electromagnetic Blast. When revealed, exhaust each upgrade and support you control. Place 1 magnet counter on the main scheme. And as a boost, exhaust your identity. Pretty bad. Metal Shards. When revealed, deal 1 damage to each character you control. Place 1 magnet counter on the main scheme. Boost if this is an attack that defeats an ally, place 1 magnet counter on the main scheme. Okay. Magnetic Missile. Surge. When revealed, defeat a Sentinel minion in play. Then take 5 damage. You may discard X cards from your hand to prevent X of that damage. Okay. So he uses one of the Sentinels as missiles. So also has Surge. So pretty powerful actually. Magnetic Mayhem. It's a side scheme. When defeated, the player who defeated this scheme discards the top 4 cards of the encounter deck. That player places 1 magnet counter on the main scheme for each magnetic card displayed this way, and it has this new icon, which was what? Amplify icon. The amplify icon increases the number of boost icons on boost cards. When a boost card is turned face up during an enemy activation, add 1 additional boost icon to that card for each amplify icon in play. Okay. So as long as this one is in play, he gets a boost card. Instead of 3, he gets 4. Okay, got it. Is it here or here? Here. Okay. Magnetically Sealed. When revealed, place 2 additional threat here for each ally in play. Crisis icon, boost, exhaust each ally you control. Alright, when revealed, each player places the top 6 cards of their deck face down under here. When defeated, Magneto activates against the player who defeated this scheme. Acceleration icon, Fabian Cortez. Acolyte Elite, Teamwork, Villainous. When defeated, the player who defeated him discards cards from the encounter deck until an Acolyte minion is discarded, then puts that minion into play and engage with them. So that's the Acolytes modular set now. We also have Amelia Vought, Senyaka, I don't know. Delgado, Science, Zeal. Alright, so that's the acolytes basically. And 2 more for the acolytes. So Zeal for the cause and the acolytes. Each acolyte minion gains guard. Okay, so it's 5 minions basically. Future Past. Nimrod. Minions 2 schemes, 3 attack, 9 health. Elite Sentinel, Stalwart, Victory 1. He cannot take more than 3 damage each phase. Ugh. Bastion, minion 2 scheme, 2 attack, 10 health. Toughness, Villainous, Victory 1. Deal this card to yourself as a face down counter card. Numerous Portal. Okay. Alright. And this is a campaign, Frightened Police. Okay. Find the prisoner, surprise attack. Magneto's Fortress, not gonna read that, no spoilers. Capture Grace, here interrupt. Okay, so now we have some role cards. Brawler, Commander, Defender, and Peacekeeper. So these role cards, blah blah, campaign roles, campaign mode rules. Each of the scenarios in this expansion can be played individually as a standalone adventure or together with the other scenarios as part of one epic campaign. Campaign mode combines all 5 scenarios in the Mutant Genesis expansion into one epic experience. The outcome of each game impacts the next scenario. To complete the campaign, the players must win all 5 scenarios in numerical order, starting with Scenario 1 Sabretooth and ending with Scenario 5 Magneto. To begin the campaign, the player starts by choosing their heroes. Each player must then choose... Okay, so you can play this as a campaign, which is probably what I'm gonna do. Very cool. And then campaign roles. The X-Men are a team and each member has a unique role. The Mutant Genesis campaign introduced a role mechanic that represents each hero's area of expertise on the team. Their role, we know what their roles are because I just read them. Blah blah blah. When setting up Scenario 1 in campaign mode, each player chooses one of the roles and records their choice in the campaign log. Each player must choose a different role. Each role comes with its own set of 5 upgrades. These upgrades can be earned by defeating the campaign-specific side scheme in... Oh, okay. So it's like introducing RPG elements. So let's have a look at Brawler, for example. So when you attack, this attack deals 3 additional damage and gains overkill. Remove this card from the game and the campaign pool. When you attack... Okay. So you get these cards as a reward in the scenario. Interesting. Hero Interrupt. Another Brawler thing. When you make a basic defense, you get +3 defense. Ready your hero. Remove this card from the game and the campaign pool. Interesting. Okay, cool. That's it then. That's the Mutant Genesis expansion from Marvel Champions. And yeah, I'm gonna be recording some games now with Colossus and Shadowcat. And if I can, maybe I'll play the campaign. I'll probably will, but not sure if I'm gonna record that. So yeah, and here we have the campaign log for the campaign. There we go. So yeah, introducing those RPG elements. Nice. All right, well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.